Hey guys, it's Carl Brown from GL365.com. Got a great one from Motley Crue today, Too Young to Fall in Love. So we're gonna have some really, a lot of fun with this one. It's got a couple of really cool riffs in it, and really one of my favorite Mick Mars solos. He's just really great at writing, just great solo. They have so much energy, and I love playing his solos. So before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so you'll know when I release a new video. And please check out my Guitar Academy. You'll see a link in the description below. That link is going to give you a free 7-day trial, so you can check out all my guitar courses, unlimited, and just kind of browse what I have available. I got courses on, it's just a whole guitar school, courses in complete beginner stuff to more advanced courses in technique, a lot of technique courses, courses in improvisation and multiple styles, courses on chords and chord progressions, music theory, ear training, guitar tone, everything. So I've got complete courses on all this stuff, so please go check it out. All right, so let's start here. Now, as per Mick Mars' regulations, we are tuned to D standard. What is D standard? D standard is every string on the guitar tuned down a whole step. You'll see a lot of people, a lot of times will play Motley Crue songs, drop D. Unfortunately, they're not doing the world any favors because they're not playing it like it's supposed to be played. So you gotta play it in D standard. So tune the whole thing down a whole step. So the E string becomes a D, A string becomes a G, D string becomes a C, G string becomes an F, B string becomes an A, and the high E string also goes down to a D, just like the low E. So we have this. So all the chord forms work the same there. When you're D standard, it just sounds a lot bigger. All right, so let's start here. We really just have we have two main riffs, like the riff of the verse and that main riff that I played at the beginning of the video. And then we have some riffs in the solo section. That's pretty much it. And then we have the solo itself. So we have this main riff, which is really cool. All right, so what is going on there? So it's kind of tricky though. It moves around quite a bit. We start with this. Well, first time you hear it, it kind of slides down the strings into it. Hit the open A string. I'm gonna call it an A string because I'm not smart enough to say the name of the renamed string, which should be a G string. If I say G string, people are gonna be hitting the wrong string, me included. So we're just gonna call it an A string, even though we know it's tuned down a whole step to G. So we have this open A string, open A, and then you're gonna play the 7th fret on the D and the G string together. Then the open A string again. And then you play 7 on the D, 5 on the G. Then you're gonna hit the open A string twice. And then you're gonna play, basically the chords you're playing the 5th fret on the D and the G. Then play the same thing, but move that note on the G string down to the 4th fret. And then back to the 5th fret there. So with this. So you see, I did that, when I hit those two 5s together, hit the open A again, and then I went to the 4, 5. So with this. Now here's where it gets tricky. We hit the low E open, and then you grab the 3rd fret on the low E string. And then you gotta jump back to the rest of the riff stays the same, so we have this. So instead of this open A to start it, you had the 3rd fret there on the low E, and then you got to jump. So it's the same thing after that, though. So like this. And then once again, we had the low E open, reach all the way back and grab that 1st fret, and then back. So all together. All right, so then it goes to that, which is kind of straight ahead metal, just kind of. So open E a couple times, power chord to 7th fret of the A string, open E a couple more times, down to the 5th fret there on the power chord, up to 8. Then back to 7, and then you're gonna jump down here, play this quick little riff, 3 true on the A to 3 on the low E string, and then you'll repeat the riff. So we have this. Beat. Now the second time through it here, you're gonna play this ending section. And basically play it twice. So we have this. Hit that E, then hit it a few more times, like 1, 2, 3, and then start over. And then you do that riff at the end. So we have this together. All right, so all together. All right, from there, right out of the that main riff, it goes to the verse, which looks like this. So this is kind of just like the same. Kind of straight ahead, we're really kind of doing some rapid downstrokes. So that starts with that. Well, the first time you hear it, it kind of skips the first hit of that and just coming out. So you're not going to play that at the beginning, but really the full riff is this: the 7th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G. So that 7th fret on the D, 5th on the G, you keep going back between the couple of palm muted hits on the A string. Then you hit that chord, let it ring a second, and then play the 5th fret on the D, 7th fret on the G. And move that down to the 3rd fret on the D, 5th fret on the G. And then you start that riff, the rhythm again, and go on, hit the chord a couple of times on the A string. So I have this. Then you kind of the same thing. We play that chord and then move it up 2 frets. And then you start the riff again. Alright, so after you've done it a couple times, then you go down, just take this, this is really when it moves down here to the 2nd fret, it's the pre-chorus. So it sounds like this. So that's you hit that chord, that E power chord. So it's the 2nd fret on the D, 4th fret on the G. So hit it, and then rapid palm downstroke on the whole chord. Then the same thing up at the 3rd fret. Again. And the end. So right there, I'm just hitting the chord, pulling off in the D string, then hitting the D. The same thing at the 3rd fret. So look at this. And then you just go back and play the regular chord at the 2nd. 3, 2, 3, 5. So I have this. Pre-chorus. All right, so those are pretty much the 2 main riffs of the song. It goes back to the chorus again, back to the verse, and then we get to the solo section. The solo has a different. So if you have 2 guitarists in your band or whatever you're playing this, I'm going to show you the rhythm guitar part there for the solo, and then we'll take a look at the solo. So let me play the rhythm for you real quick. All right, so that just starts out with the E power chord. So just a couple of hits on the E each time, between each one. And then we have this. You're gonna move over and play the 7th fret on the D, 9th on the G. So the A power chord. You could be up here. Of course, you don't really see video of him doing this because live, he's just gonna play the solo here. He's not gonna play the rhythm. So we have this. So 7th there, and then the 8th fret power chord off the A string, and back to the 7th fret power chord. We have this so far. And then we go 5, 5th fret power chord, that D power chord, up to 8, the F power chord, and then back to the E. So this. So we have this so far. So now we repeat, but we're going to do this. Just like the first ending. And then it's almost like the first ending again. That 7th fret power chord off the A power chord, the F power chord, but it resolves down to the D chord. So just so you can see, it's just kind of the same chords again and again, but it's a little bit mixed up. So it's probably better for me just to play it. So now we're down to the D. So here we go from the D. 5, 8, 7. And and then back over to this A power chord, 7th fret of the D string, and then F power chord, and then back down to the D. Then 5, A, 7. All right, so let me just play through the solo rhythm one more time for you. All right, and then from there it'll just goes back to the verse again, that. All right, but we do have a solo over that. So let me play through the solo for you real quick. Before I play it, there is the way I'm playing this solo is the way that he did it back in. I see a lot of videos from him playing back in 1984. I can kind of track those down on YouTube, and these are grainy and they're from a distance. He plays it especially the ending part of the solo. He plays it in a different position than he does in the more recent performances. There's a lot higher quality. So you probably see me play these and go, wait a minute, he doesn't play it there. Same notes, but he's playing in a different area of the fretboard. I don't know why he switched, but back in the day, around 84, when 83, where he recorded it and was released as a single in 84, the live footage from 84, he's playing it differently than they did it up here in this position. So I'm going to go with that because that was closer to when it was recorded, so it's probably closer to how he actually did it, and he just changed it for whatever reason. So it looks like this. Back to that riff. So we're going to start here. Now, down here, I'll show the areas of the solo where he does differently now, but plays it differently. Same notes, he just plays a different area. But when we start, it's always been down here at first. That's some cool stuff. So we're going to, a little bit of a tremolo picking at the 7th fret on the high E string. Then you're going to play 5, 7, then 4, 5, then 6 on the B, back to 4 on the high E, and then play 5, 6 on the B. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over and play that 5, 6. Then I hammer 5 to 6, pull back off to 5, and then over to 7 on the G string. And you're going to do that kind of repeated lick like 3 or 4 times. Into a few bends there at the 7th fret on the G. And then play the 7th fret without the bend. So we have this. All right, from there we have this. All right, so that's just playing 4, 5, 7 repeatedly on the G string. So it's a good little picking exercise there. And then we have this. So after he's kind of repeating that pretty rapidly, he's going to slow down and go 4, 5, 7 on the G, and then play 6, 5 on the B, and 7 on the G. Then we're going to play 5 on the high E, 6, 5 on the B, and and then end it with 7 on the G, 6-5 on the B. Now, here, modern day, he'll now play this next lick right here. But like I said, back in '84, after he played this melody, he jumped up and played this, but he did it at the 10th fret on the B string. So 10th fret here, 12, 13. So repeat that lick, and then we do the same thing, but at 12, 13, 15 on the high E string. Into a bend at the 15th fret there on the 15th fret. Release that bend. So we have this. All right, so you can play wherever you want. That little part right there. Whatever. All right, now I'll play this last phrase for you real quick. Once again, he's playing this a little bit differently these days too, but the last phrase is like this. So variations of how he plays it now. So this first note you hear on the recording, you don't hear it. You hear kind of just sounds like noise, a little bit of string noise. That's it. So whatever it is, for whatever reason, that's not there. But every time I've seen him play this solo live, there's supposed to be that note there, which makes sense because it's. But for some reason on the recording, it's just a little bit of noise there. Maybe he wanted it there. I'm sure he could have fixed it if he wanted to, but he didn't. Maybe he liked the effect it made on the recording, but it's just 15 on the high E string, and then play 12, 13 on the high E, then play 15 on the B, back to 12 on the high E, and then play 13, 15 on the B, 12, 13 on the B, then play 14 on the G, 12 on the B, then 12, 14 on the G. So it's just a little sequence that we're taking down. Then play 12, shift down now to the 10th fret. And quickly play 10, hammer 12, pull up back up to 10 and slide down to 9. Now here is where he'll play that there now live, but on the recording, or at least on videos of him playing back in the day around the recording, he's playing it up here. So it's just after we get down to that 9, we're now gonna. So that's just the kind of 9, hammer 10, pull off the 9, over to 12 on the D, and then back to that 9. So we do that a few times. And then we're going to end it with 12 on the G, 12 on the D, and then back to that 9 on the G, and then we're back to the same verse rhythm, and then back to the same main riff or the chorus riff that we did at the beginning of this track. Now there's some overdubs over that last. You'll hear some. I'm not gonna really worry about that kind of stuff. We're gonna do what he does live, which is all the chorus section. He doesn't do any overdub stuff. He just plays that main riff there, that kind of thing, and then that verse, the same verse riff, and then obviously that killer solo. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a really fun song to play. Classic Motley Crue. One of my favorite Motley Crue songs too. I think it's a little bit underrated. It's definitely in the top 5 for me, for them. All right. Hope to see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.